Hello friends, and welcome back to the Mothership. Today we're using some of our leftover barbecue and making our very own quesadilla cone appetizers. Let's get started. Alright, we're going to start off with some pulled pork. This is leftover pulled pork that was in my freezer. Let it defrost completely and come up to a bit of room temperature. You could absolutely use just about any meat. You can use chopped brisket. You can use obviously fresh pulled pork if you want. You could do chopped chicken. You can do just about anything you'd put on a quesadilla. We're going with pulled pork because I have a lot of it and it's good stuff. Then we're going to take these little taco tortillas. And for each one, we just want to cut them in half. Pizza slicer makes this a lot easier. So the trick here is you got your cut end. What you're going to do is fold it to about there with all your stuff obviously in there. And then just roll her on up. And that's it. Now to smoke these, I'm going to put them onto a slotted pan like this. You can absolutely just throw them directly onto your smoker, but you run the risk of stuff leaking out, falling through. This just puts it on one place and allows me to move it around a lot easier. But the process we're going to do here, if you want to see from start to finish, put your cheese on like so. I'll do a couple of these at a time. Then if you want any extra seasonings, you can put them on. I know that this pulled pork is exactly how I want it, so I don't really feel the need. Garlic is always a great choice, a little bit more of some adobo seasoning, anything like that. But this is what we're going to stick with. Take some of our pulled pork. You don't want to do too much because you want it to be able to roll up, obviously. But something like that's probably just fine. You only want to do it on about half of the half, so a quarter of a full thing, half of one of these things cut in half, just like so. Get a little bit more on this one. Perfect. Then we're going to take, like I said, one side, roll it to about here, and then just roll her on up. And just like that, you got a little quesadilla cone. You're obviously going to want to put this down seam side of wherever you're actually going to smoke it with. That's why I also think these slotted pans are probably going to be useful, because once you've got it sitting there, you don't want to be moving them around, because since they're not melted together, obviously they're going to fall apart. But that's really it, guys. We're going to just take care of the rest of these. All right, these are all I'm going to make today. We don't need to do a ton of them, but basically just continue the process like I showed you. What we want to do now is you could just smoke these at 350 degrees like an oven until everything melts, but I want to get a little bit of smoke on there first. So I'm going to start at about 180 for maybe 20 minutes. And the goal is we're just looking for all the cheese to melt and everything to crisp up. So you don't have to go super high heat. We're going to go low heat until it's done. So 20 minutes to maybe 40 minutes is what I'm looking at. But I'm getting my smoker up and running. We'll throw these on. All right. Setup is pretty simple, guys. Just throw the entire pan on the top shelf, just like so. Like I said, I'm going to let this run just until everything's melted. You don't have to 180 degrees. I'm doing that simply because I want more smoke on here, but you could go much less. And by much less, I mean you could go like 350, 225, anything you want. We're really looking for everything to melt. Since the pulled pork is already cooked, what we're doing is trying to get the nice crisp. So you can just keep monitoring it until it's ready to be pulled. Pretty simple, guys. All right, we're like 45 minutes. I did bump them up to 300 at the very end for like 2 or 3 minutes. These are looking good to me. They're not at the point where they're like ultra crispy, but they are crispy enough where they will crack. But I still want them to have a little bit of give so I can use them as dipping and not have everything just fall apart. But you see the cheese is nice and melted. Oof, these are great. Let's get them inside and see how they taste. Now these little guys are honestly super easy to make, guys. You're basically just putting in some leftover meat, a little bit of cheese, any other toppings you want. I usually just keep them to cheese because anything else, there's not a lot of space. You're going to take up more room that could be saved for that delicious barbecue. But you're going to roll it up, smoke it to put a little extra smoke flavor on there and crisp it up. And then you've got a perfect little dipper that's great for, a game day appetizer or just if you want to mix it up for dinner. Now you could absolutely smoke up some brand new cut of meat if you want to make these, but realistically, I know you have a whole bunch of leftovers in your freezer. I know I have a ton of pulled pork and some brisket and a whole bunch of other stuff in my freezer, fully cooked and just ready to go. And this is a perfect use for that. If you're having a party, these are a great one to throw on there. I like to have a little bit of sour cream, some Pico, and then some barbecue sauce because this is barbecue. And then basically, you've got yourself a perfect little dipper. The little cup makes it perfect to get a little bit of sour cream, a little bit of that barbecue sauce. And we'll throw in some of that Pico too. And it turns into a nice little cone just like that. But what's most important is how does it taste? I mean, it's basically a quesadilla in finger food. And it doesn't have as much mess like a normal quesadilla would. It's perfect. Honestly, you can't go wrong with these guys. It's a fantastic appetizer and one we're really gonna enjoy tonight. But I would love to hear from you guys down below. What is one of your favorite game day appetizers? We all know wings are great. What do you think about these? Do you do something different? Love to hear it. But most importantly, guys, I need you guys to cook something absolutely fantastic, and I'll catch you guys on the next UFO barbecue. Bye-bye.